Right, quick shot of the air sucking. You can see it. So it's pulling that vapour. It's pulling the mist from this spray bottle straight into that filter element, and the fan's down there, and it's sucking up at this height, even though the fan is down here. That's the fan down there. Just go straight in there. But up here, then you see it being pulled in. So by having that high tapered box on the outside, is sucking over that big air. Do you know what? You could have gone from ceiling to floor with that, and it was still suck. It's all to do with volume and air movement, and you can even see it coming in, sucking the steam, that mist, across and into there. That just goes to show how much airflow is going through these filters across the room and out that one fan at the back. It's pulling in the sides a little bit, but it's not too bad, and the end's being pulled in as well. These filters could do with being this top panel as well. That would allow even more air in, and it would relieve, so the air would be going in there and not trying, because if these sides are sucking in, there must be a vacuum inside, and it's actually pulling in air from other places, because none of this is sealed, it's just draped over the top. It's drawing in air lots of other places. So if you had more filtering here and more along here, you wouldn't have so much of this suction. You would have the filtration of the air going through the filters and out of that one extractor at the end. If you had two extractors, well, you wouldn't be able to stick it. It would implode. On the top of there is where I rubbed my spray overall. So I come back onto it and rubbed on there, and there was a mark there and a mark there, and I come back and touched on there. But what I've done, because I got to spray more primer yet, what I've done is I've just blocked out that piece. There's a piece of wood with a bit of 180 stuck on it. So it's a nice smooth surface on the inside of that 180. That's the rough side actually. The other side is a much smoother. I think I sanded it flat. And all I've done is just blocked down using the mark as the guide coat, and just got rid of it. So it's gone now. So I'll go finish this off again now with ordinary guide coat and wet and dry, but I've got rid of the mark, and if I'd rubbed through, I'd have just re-primered that little piece there and this little piece here, but it's basically got rid of it good enough to now go back to normal block sanding. So I've removed the defect straight away, so that's done, that's dry. And I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to guide coat it and block it with a bigger block than that, but I'm going to do it 180 and knock down most of it. So I'm going to do some shaping doing it dry, and then I'm going to re-guide coat it and do it 600 wet and dry, so that the new guide coat will tell me where I have been and where I haven't been. And once all that's gone, I'll have a 600 wet and dry finish, but it'll be quicker, I think, than wet and drying 600. The whole surface, it'll take forever. But as you can see, that there is a pretty smooth, well, I can see it if I can get the light right. It's quite a nice sheen to it, because I put a little bit more thinners in the primer. Yeah, you can't see. And it puts it on a little bit flatter, less orange peel in the primer, but it still lays on a decent coat that I could block out that defect and not go through, and that's all that matters. But it definitely goes on smoother, and you can whack it on. It's almost going on as quickly as you see people on YouTube putting on clear coat. I could put on just one wet coat, bang, straight on. It was actually 4 coats on there, and then I had a bit of paint left over, and I just went over it again just to use up that little bit of paint, maybe 100 ml of paint. Just used it up just to finish it off. But that's basically it. When I flick them over, when I flick this over and flick that over the bonnet, I'll do a little video on that and show you the first coat of primer, because I think on fiberglass there's a definite difference between fiberglass and metal, because you've cut back the gel coat and keyed it and rubbed it down from the original to get rid of the old paint. You've cut open a load of air bubbles, and cutting the tops of the air bubbles off creates a load of pinholes. And the first coat of primer, put on one nice wet coat of primer, let it soak in, let it dry, and it shows up all the imperfections and pinholes, and then I'll fill them in and nib it off after 2 or 3 hours, or whenever you can, earlier than that if you can, and then put on your full coats of primer after that, and it fills it up. And this here looked really bad, but now it's actually looking pretty darn good. And this here had a load of pinholes in it, but as you can see on that there, look at the sheen on that. It's a lovely smooth. That isn't going to take much blocking out at all. I've got the paint on these doors much flatter, the primer, than I put on the actual car. So this is going to take less work to block out than it does on the car, and the less blocking out, the more primer you've got left for shaping. So I think this is all going to work out looking pretty good. I must stress this isn't the first car I've ever painted, because I've done this work many years ago, and I've always been tinkering around with painting different bits and pieces, making fiberglass stuff, i.e. the cowl on this airplane, you know, and these wheel spats on this covering the wheels. They're all fiberglass. These droop leading edges, they're fiberglass. There's an F-16 mould. I've covered it up. That's the cowl. That's pretend panel lines just covered in dust because I haven't flown it for a while. And these are this is diversing a bit, but they're PVA spots of glue to simulate rivets, and that there's a panel edge where you put tape and skim up. That's a homemade wooden propeller. That's skinned in 2-part clear, rubbed down. The whole plane is own design. And this one here is over 25 years old, and you can't see the cowl on that one. But the cowl on that one's fiberglass. That's another fiberglass item. That one's 25 years old, that one. That's a pit special, S2A. So there we are. So when I've done the outside of the boot lid and the outside of the bonnet, I'll come back and show you that. fumes are gone now. That there, I've just given that a quick coat over with some relatively thin primer in that little panel gun, and it's difficult to hold the camera in one hand, or my phone as it happens to be, and spray in the other because the hose pipe keeps getting in the way. So I didn't do that quite as proficiently as I would like to have shown it, but there we go. But I put a coat on, and straight away, right there is a load of rubbish. See all those chips and dinks in it? And I find some more. Hang on. Yeah, I can see them, but I don't know if I can get into there. Some more. So this nasty old bump there. And there's a load of air bubbles. Can't get them to show. Hang on, there, look. There. So there's lots of pinholes appearing. And on the boot lid, I haven't even looked at this one. That's not looking too bad actually. There will be some. So I'll go over that with a fine tooth comb. And there's the fan running, you can hear it. It's not too bad. But quite frankly, it's clearly in here already. So I've only had that running for the time this video's been running, and anything that was in there, and I haven't done a lot of spraying, but that's it.